Beautiful. All right, and admit it.
I'm gonna record this. Do you care?
No, that's fine. Let me I keep forgetting. I gotta make you co-host too. So let me do that. Um Make co-host. Yeah, I'll send you the URL. As soon as Zoom like finishes rendering, I'll just always send you the URL so you
Yeah,
can
no,
just
that's
have
totally
that
fine.
downloaded right
Yeah,
away.
that'll be better.
Yeah, cool. Where are we
Hold
at
on
over
one
here?
second.
You got it, man. Good day, everyone. We are setting up here. Give us just one more minute. Set the Still getting something ready there, as well as I. Okay, and there, and right there. Fabulous. Okay, cool. All right, you all set?
I'm all set.
Fantastic. Awesome. And we are recording, we are live, we are streaming. We are restreaming. Okay, guys. Awesome. Well, guys, thank you very much. Just a quick little housekeeping intro right here. Thank you, everybody, for joining this Tuesday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern. For everybody that is over in Facebook and YouTube, quick little glitch on YouTube, I'm sorry, quick little glitch on Facebook. Facebook stopped the ability to stream to Facebook groups, unfortunately. So we're trying to figure out the workaround for that. So we have two places that we are not restreaming at over there again. So anyway, everybody joining us, we hold these coherence meditations every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. We restream, as you know, to Facebook and YouTube. Our main YouTube channel is Cosmic Gaia Community Channel, which is right there. And we have over here, you can click that QR code for some interesting links. Newsletter number one. We also have the newsletter right here. That is Seth's new website. We are merging both newsletters together in the next week or two, getting everything kind of finalized with that. Also over here, sorry, right here, we have the link for the Zoom live uh, session that we hold our main weekly event on. So please join us over here if you can. Otherwise, we'll see you over on YouTube or Facebook there. And do please join that newsletter. And while you are over there, please do subscribe, like, share this to many of your friends and family, whoever you think that can benefit the format of our coherence meditations. First 10, 15 minutes, a brief intro and little discussion. And then as we get into the coherence meditation, we'll let you know if you want to drop off to keep in that trance and or continue to the rest of the session. And we do encourage everyone to do this as a daily practice. Just take a little time out each day. We do have recordings in case you do miss those. Join our YouTube channel, Cosmic Gaia Community, or we are starting to make those available right over here at I'mAwakeNowWhat.com, which is Seth's new website that he's working so diligently on, and awesome features that you have coming up there, Seth. So that is awesome to hear. Last week's title was Turning Solutions into Self Mastery. And this week, let's get chakra-fied. That's the title. So, guys, let's get chakra-fied. And if you do have a topic in mind, do please comment on the video. We'll take a look at those right underneath there. Periodically, we'll add those to the queue. We pretty much have an unlimited number of topics we could get into when it comes to coherence meditations. So, anyway, get some water, guys. Get comfortable, relax, and let's get going. So, good to see you again, Seth.
You too, Greg. Thank you so much. You're amazing. Just all of a sudden, this guy just manifested in my life. That was a year ago now. Here we are, 1 year later. Awesome.
It's been awesome.
It really has. It's been incredible. And that's why I'm thinking tonight, this whole concept of what we're going to get into, it's kind of like a milestone. It's almost like we're having an anniversary of these meditations and how we've been showing up to do them, how all of you guys have been showing up to do them, and just the synergy and the flow and this beautiful idea of breaking out of all these bonds of disbelief or social indoctrination. All of that is eroding for the entire world right now. And so here we are working through it. We're getting so good at doing this. And tonight is going to be that. I will say that this is the most important one we've done yet, ever. And why that is, it's because it moves you out of the normal way, out of your normal senses of how you perceive reality. And you start to be in every part of your body all at the same time. And this is really close to what I do every day. This is like kind of the core of what I do every day. And all the work that we've been doing with everybody here and getting to this point has prepared you to be able to do what we're going to do. And what we're going to do is take this whole idea of chakras, right? Because we see it everywhere. There's all these beautiful rainbows of different centers, starting from the head, going to the root, the pelvic floor, or starting from the pelvic floor and coming up. But a lot of people, they just say, oh, focus on the second chakra, focus on the third. I don't know. I haven't found a lot that really goes into what they are, how they work, and how powerful you get to become as a result of doing this, because you're setting your awareness free from the inside out. And what that means is that all the work we've been doing up till now to right here, by just relaxing, breathing rhythmically, feeling your own self-love by your smile in your heart, all of that has prepared all of us to be able to focus in these centers and make a consistent habit. Because when you focus in these chakras, we'll call it for now, and I don't think there's really words to describe what they are, but for the sake of ease, we'll call it a chakra or chakra. So when you take your attention and you focus in these points with that relaxed state of being, with the focus that you, as this person you are, you're taking your attention and you're placing it on, we can call it the divine attention. There's a life force field that we all are, that everything is. And so we take our awareness, we merge it with this life force awareness, and then we learn to love that we're doing that. We generate feelings of love, and you keep doing that. You're taking your consciousness, your awareness, and you are honing it in, and you're focusing in each of these spots. And as you do that, you literally create a neural network or plexus of all these neurons and neural architecture. It literally begins to form inside each of these places. And so when you're building your awareness to be rooted inside these different zones or part of your body, you're creating both a physical and non-physical flow of energy, energetic expression of reality into these points. And the more you practice it, the more you're in them. But it's not just you that's in them. It's you and your divine self, you call it, or whatever people want to call this life force that we've been focusing on the whole time. And that I always say that it's way more intelligent than I am. It does things that are just way beyond anything I could know how to do with my own body, whether I'm asleep or awake. So when I take my attention and I focus on what's allowing me to even focus my attention to begin with, I'm opening up a relationship, which I consider the most important relationship there ever could be. Because if this relationship isn't here, then neither are we. Or likely, you could say, whatever. There's some trillion possibilities. And I know people like to break down all of that. but from a very simple place, rather than focusing on all these unknowns. And I'm talking about myself. Instead of focusing on all these thoughts, beliefs, ideas, theories, all the things that we learn from the outside in this world. And yeah, it might be true, might resonate with it to a degree. But what do we know? Like, what do we really know? For me, what I know is this life force is doing all this. It's causing all these complex bodily systems to work together. And I know that that is the most important. I mean, it's beyond a relationship. We are that already. We already are that. And by coming together, by focusing on this, it's almost like we're giving each other the space to be able to focus on it and make it a habit. And when the habit sticks, meaning like when you start to literally feel your pulse in these centers with your self-love, suddenly you are conscious throughout your entire body. And how can anybody not want to do that? It's so, so incredible. And I can tell you that having done this for many years now, I don't even know how long, but it's been years and years. When it first started to really gel inside of me, I created these neural pathways or these neural networks in specific centers of my body. And then one day out of nowhere, I'm just outside hanging out, and all of a sudden, boom, it all comes online. And I'm not talking about a simulation. All the effort of building concentrated amounts of your attention inside this divine tension that's already there. When you create these points through all of that, and you're choosing to love it while you create these points in you, at some point, it begins to take root and it opens up everything, all the different possibilities of how we could perceive reality, all the different dormant energy centers that are in every single one of us, but we don't really live with them on, which is crazy. Especially look at all the people in this world, right? Imagine if everybody was so integrated into what they already are, that suddenly money, the American dream or whatever, there's all these different belief systems that train us to be good consumers and support all the stuff that we all know isn't really sustainable. And so what would happen if we started doing this individually together? What would happen as a species if we started all doing this together and we start to value that connection? Suddenly we don't need all of the outside stuff. We've found it all and way more inside of us. And I want to be really careful about what I'm going to say, but think of that creative energy that we all were brought here by, right? There's this really powerful feeling of creativity that each of us had happen, and that's why we're here. We came into this world with that. But here's the thing, that incredible feeling isn't just centralized in the pelvic floor. It is all through our body. And it's not even remotely sexual or in the way that most people think that energy is. It is life. It is life force, and it is powerful beyond comprehension. And so when you start to work with that feeling with your smile, you're smiling, you love it, you're feeling that energy while you're focusing on it, you're taking all these different points in your body and they are rooted by your own focus and all the neural networks and all the invisible energy that literally create more dense energetic structures, which is our consciousness getting anchored into what has already always been there, but that maybe we forgot or whatever. You can get into all these things. And I'm giving this long explanation of it, because now more than ever, when people do this and they get really good at doing it, and then you live in the world, you start to have these experiences where you feel your creative life force flowing throughout your entire being with that feeling of like, oh my God, it's a miracle. Like, like you're creating a new sense of self with what you already are and with what is already there. And when that new you starts to emerge out of this powerful creative life force that we all are and everything is, when you become conscious of that in you, you start to get really good at sustaining that no matter what you do. It could be painting, could be playing music, could be doing basketball, whatever. All the things that people love to do. When you're in these states of awe, you're literally conscious and feeling this miracle of life that we all already are. And then you're in a state where you are completely connected to reality, real reality, not this human 9 to 5 thing that we all focus on because we didn't know any better for a while. Reality, this powerful, beyond description life force energy that is that powerful reproductive energy based material, that when we begin to become more conscious of it, it begins to weave itself in all these different parts of our body. And we have the ability to be so in that feeling and everything happening to it that you can't wait to go deep into it. Yeah, you can sustain it throughout the day, and that's how you can be creative and productive. But for me, every time I go into this and I have these feelings and these experiences, and it's so like beyond, it's like being elated, right? It's like being just like you've discovered the truth of what this soul is, what this body, this energy is, and you just want to stay with it. You want to keep cultivating it. And so when you get to that point, you've been able to get all these different centers of the body rooted, and they begin to form plexus centers, you could say, like the solar plexus. They're essentially creating mini brains with what's already in there. And the more you focus on it, the more you feel grateful and in love with it, the stronger those centers become. And when you get to that point where you are no longer who you think you are, perceiving reality with your eyes, ears, nose, your mouth, but you have all these other sensory productive areas of your body. And so you're picking up everything that are in all of those centers. And the more you do it, the more integrated you begin to realize it always was. And the more passionate you become about life, no matter what happens. So with all that, we're going to get to work. So wherever you are, close your eyes. Relax your body from the top of your head all the way down to your toes. Just completely relax in your body. You're not shrugging your shoulders. You're not doing other kind of resistance postures that have been normalized in many. But at the same time, you're creating alignment. When your back is straight, your head is up, your arms and hands are all kind of synchronized to each other. Your legs are either crossed or next to each other. We have so many twos, 2 eyes, 2 ears, two hemispheres of the brain. Through the core of our being is this really powerful flow of energy that is always there. But if we're not paying attention to it, we can start to kind of allow our energy to get stuck in our arms and legs and hands and feet because we're surviving in the world. We're doing mostly what we have learned to do. And it's not good, bad, right, wrong. It is all of that. And ultimately, it is none of that. And so when you relax your body the way you are now, all of those extreme polarities that we can get stuck into without realizing it. When we relax and we get into that column in the middle of our body, those polarities begin to disappear because you're focusing inward. So you're relaxed, you're keeping your spine and head up without too much effort. If it hurts, don't do it. Just try to get yourself into the most symmetrical place that you can be. And as your body is symmetrical, slow your breathing down, slower, but deeper. When you bring your attention to your breathing, you see how you can regulate your breath just by choosing to. And so life is already doing this for us, in us. And when we voluntarily take our awareness and we focus it on this innate intelligence that's already got us covered, when we merge our attention with this life force that is so beyond genius, when we focus on that, life takes note and it recognizes that you are focusing on it. Life knows that in a nanosecond or in a split second, you are paying attention to it, and your life force is paying attention to you. And the more focused you get, the more it focuses on you. And this relationship deepens and deepens to whatever level you want to approach it from. So your body is completely relaxed. Your breathing is gentle and a little deeper. And put a smile on your face. It can be very small. Just put it on so that you can feel whatever feeling that smile creates. because that feeling is you anchoring all of your potential into your whole body. When you smile, you feel happy or joyful or warm, whatever that smile feels like. That is the beginnings of you nurturing this relationship with life in you and around you. So when your body is relaxed, but its symmetry is in alignment, when you're feeling your own happiness in your heart, see if you can feel your heartbeat. And if you can feel your heartbeat, just let whatever that smile feels like to be pulsated throughout your entire body. So every beat of your heart is sending and receiving signals, mostly from what you are choosing to put into it. So if you're smiling and you're happy and you allow yourself to be aware of all these involuntary functions, like breathing and your heartbeat, and when you pay attention to all of this, begin to build a set point where your awareness starts to become a lot more integrated with what is already happening in your body. And let that inspire you. It is not a joke. There is a miracle beyond anything we could ever think with our conditioned minds. And it's so exciting because when you start to get in tune with what is already happening, you, person you are, starts to really integrate into what you are. And when you begin to notice that something so much greater that is both beyond and within, and no matter what we think or believe, that life force energy is already doing what it knows how to do. And when we focus on it, it supports us to further deepen our awareness of what is already there, but that we temporarily forgot. And now we are remembering.
Hi.
So totally relax. Be in your entire body at the same time. Keep that soft smile on your face. With every beat of your heart, that feeling is expanding and contracting. That smile you feel and that energy is literally sending itself out into the world around you. So while you are relaxed, while you're as symmetrical as you can be, and while you are feeling the feeling of your smile in your heart and through your heartbeat, reverberating in and around your whole body. And so while all of that is happening, take your awareness and focus it right into the middle of your head. You don't need to focus so much so that it takes you out of coherence. Just aim to set your attention in the middle of your head. And you can imagine what a pearl or a really beautiful marble or something like an opal. You can focus on that little round point in the middle of your head. And while you're keeping your attention there, you're still feeling that smile. You're still relaxed. You're breathing gently and slow. And so while all of that is happening, see if you can feel your pulse from your heartbeat in the middle of your head. Because as soon as you start being able to feeling that, when you begin to be able to focus in this point in your head, and you're smiling, and you can feel your pulse in that point, that is how you begin to anchor greater states of self-awareness. When the heartbeat is in the point in the middle of your head that you're focusing on, when you're focusing on all of that, they begin to almost build themselves. All the neural architecture, all the neural networks and pathways that begin to take form because we are choosing to focus on it and allowing us to feel our pulse in it with the self-love that we generate through our smile. Your own body gets right on board with you. And it helps you to build these concentrated points wherever you choose to focus on them. And if you can feel that now, give yourself a pat on the back. And if you don't feel it, still feel like you are creating them. You are taking a break out of everything that we become so habitualized in our day-to-day world that we don't really focus on this. But now we are. And in the middle of our head is both the pituitary gland and to the back, the pineal gland. And when you can feel that focus point that you are choosing to create in the middle of your head, your heartbeat carries that feeling of your smile through this point in your head, almost like an antenna, but it's totally organic. It is you and your body in harmony with yourself. And the majority of all reality is always right here. And all the things that we focused on outside of that, that was just life teaching us how to get here, where we are now. So you're in that middle point. You're feeling your pulse in that middle point of your head with your smile and the feeling it creates. Set a little reminder, like a seed, that little point you're focusing on in your head with all these other elements you're bringing into it with your body. You're literally planting the seed for something that will continue to grow. And that through your love and your willingness to nurture or be a steward of this already miraculous life force, it's all through our body. You're concentrating it and you're planting a seed right there. And from the middle of your head, take your attention and focus it in the middle of your throat. If you can feel your Adam's apple or that area, just take your attention and point it there in the middle of your throat and start choosing to feel your pulse from your heartbeat, infused with your self-love and the knowingness that something way greater than we are is already there, taking care of us. So keep your attention in that little place in the middle of your throat. You're breathing gently. You're really feeling your smile. and the feeling it creates in the middle of your throat. And the same thing, you are planting a seed that could be like a pearl or an opal or whatever visual picture and feeling that you want to create in that area. It can look like anything you want it to. It can be any color. It can feel however powerful or relaxed as you want it to. And when you smile and you feel it in these points, that is love. That is personal love, universal love, divine love, whatever you think of or refer to this miracle, whatever that energy is, you can feel free to call it whatever you like. The idea is just to create that point of focus. And if your attention goes into thoughts or starts to scatter, that's your reminder to bring that attention back in to that point in your throat where you can feel the pulse of your heart in that pulse, in the point that the pulse is interweaving into. That feeling of the smile start to become amplified with the life force, creative energy of life itself that you are both aware of and that it supports that awareness. And with your attention in this area, think of different things that you would like to program into it. So you can literally choose what type of energy you want to contribute to the concentration of all the energy that is already there, that you're aware of in a state of coherence. You get to choose whatever you want for that part of you. You can think about anything you'd like to say, anything that you would love to use your voice more in. Or maybe you feel the ability to use your voice for others who are not able to. The most important part of all of this is your focus in a point in your throat, feeling the pulse of your heartbeat in that point of concentration. And your love, feeling of your smile in that area. And the more you focus on it with practice, you get to put whatever program you want into your concentration of what's already going on. So now let that point in your throat gently begin to drop down into the middle of your chest, your heart, your lungs. This is such a powerful point to focus on because it's right where your heartbeat is. And if you can feel your heartbeat, whether it is your actual heartbeat or anywhere else in your body, that is you focusing on this relationship where you get to be the best version of yourself because you are doing this. You are intentionally choosing to focus your awareness in the middle of your heart, where all of this profound innate intelligence already is. And if you can focus in the middle of that whole area, keep your attention on it. And if you can feel your heartbeat, let that be the center where you can feel it strongest of all. And your smile representing self-love, your focus representing you becoming aware of this divine or beyond genius level of energy that is there. You are working with everything you could ever have or be, and it is here right now. You're slowing down the way you normally perceive reality, and you are anchoring that attention in the middle of your chest so that your heart, lungs, all the glands, and all the neural architecture and pathways, by focusing in this point, you are creating networks that will allow you to continue moving forward, anchoring in that awareness with all these elements that we are concentrating into this point. This is reality. This is the heart of creativity. This is where we get to choose what our relationship to life can be. So from the middle of your chest, let that point you're focusing on drop down into the upper part in the middle of your torso, kind of where your stomach would be, where the solar plexus is already there. And a plexus is a ganglia of nerves, neural pathways, neurons. All of this already exists in all these points that we're focusing on. And when you choose to feel the pulse of your heartbeat in the plexus center that is already there, you are choosing what you would love, the feeling of the energy that is already there and that now is augmented by your focus. You get to choose what that feels like. You can choose what degree of conscious dwelling you can create. For instance, if there's pain anywhere in your body, when you take these elements of focus, feeling the pulse of the heartbeat, and the smile from your love, all of that becomes present in whatever part of you you focus on. And the more you can relax that, the more powerful it begins to become. So you're in the upper middle part of your torso. You're focusing on one little point in the middle of it all. You're breathing relaxed, gently. You're feeling whatever feeling that smile creates in you. And through your focus of feeling it in these points, you're concentrating the potential that all of this represents when you intentionally focus on it, in it. Again, you get to plant the seed of potential of whatever you intend your relationship to life to be like. You start to work on actively building these points in you that are a healthy relationship. That healthy relationship comes with so much. When you're in love with the one point of focus wherever you want it to be, you are creating such a profound relationship with that all of this point and your attention of it begin to focus and concentrate in that area. And you are literally lighting up these points in your body. And the more you do them, the more your relationships in the world around you start becoming harmonized with that core relationship that you are prioritizing. And so from the point behind your stomach, let your awareness drop down to roughly a couple inches below your belly button. And from that point below the belly button, focus your attention in the middle, above your pelvic floor, in the area where your small intestines, where your colon is. When you focus your attention in this point by keeping your awareness on it and breathing gently and feeling that smile and what it means to you. You're taking your own energy and you are interweaving it into this innate intelligence that's already there. And in doing so, you are literally creating a relationship that dreams are made of, where you get to begin to plant the seeds of remembering why you are here and why all of this is happening. And no matter what you're experiencing in the world around you, when you begin to perceive reality in all of these different points, everything changes. You see beyond the surface of what it all appears to be. You begin to start creating the opportunity for higher amplitudes of your attention and this divine life force that is already there. And so behind your belly button and down a couple inches, in the middle of your tummy and your lower back, let your attention be in that point. You're so relaxed that you can feel your pulse in this point. And you are able to feel that point, the pulse of your heart in it, with that same feeling of self-love that begins to appear through all of this. So by focusing in this point, while feeling your pulse and feeling the smile in all of this, and it can be whatever color you want. It can be colorless. It can be way beyond the spectrum of normal colors and feelings. It can be whatever you want it to be. And by doing this to each of these points in your body, again, you are lighting those points up just by doing this and making a habit of it. And when you light up these points, the whole core of your entire body begins to become so powerful with all these different levels of coherence and all their corresponding organs and glands and fluids of these centers becoming charged with your own awareness in them. You are planting the seed of powerful energy-based awareness that becomes amplified when you focus on it. So now take your attention and drop it right to the bottom of your pelvic floor, in between your sexual organs and your anus. In everybody's body, there's a point in the middle of that. When you begin to feel that point and create new awareness in that point, and you start being able to take all of the energy that is created and that already exists in that point, when you intentionally put your awareness into that point, all of the energy in that area concentrates into that point. And like a pearl or an opal, it is real. It is beautiful beyond measure, and it is real. And smile into that point. Feel your heart beat and its pulse in that point. And you continue to do this and focus on these points and do your best to do it at least once a day. If you keep doing it, at some point you won't need me or anybody to guide you to do this. When all of these points begin to manifest as the physical and non-physical structures that they already are, and that you are building through it with all these elements of your attention and the innate intelligence that is already there, and the feeling of whatever your smile feels like begin to get really good at doing this, life itself will eventually guide you on how to go deeper and how to create more structures that support your choice to start becoming so aware of what is already there, and that now you are connecting the dots. People might laugh or judge it, but this is how we change this world. We begin to plant seeds of infinite potential that cause all of the corresponding organs and glands to be in coherence within that area. And then suddenly all these points and the areas they are in start becoming in coherence with each other while you are still you, and offering the ability to be in harmony with all of that. And if you keep doing this, you're going to see that the potential for all these different points isn't just where we focused. They are everywhere. There's bigger points, there's smaller points, there's points that are below and above us. When you do this and you learn how to focus and allow all of these dots to connect, everything changes. Suddenly you're not stuck in your body or in your anxiety. You literally begin to perceive the life force that is already there, infused with your devotional focus. And it literally is a living geometric field of energy that is beyond anything that any of these words could say, but that is already there, and that we are harmonized with. And when you allow the symmetry of all these points to start reverberating and communicating with themselves, just like your lungs breathe, whether you're awake or asleep, just like your heart beats, whether you're paying attention or not, just like all of these involuntary systems of your body work together without you paying much attention to it. When you create all of these points, all of that starts becoming involuntary as well. I call it the crystallization of consciousness, but it's way beyond that. So if you want to stay in this state of being, just really do your best to pay as much attention to it as you can. And remember, if your mind goes off track, You just bring it right back. Before we come into a more awakened state after doing all of this, let this entire evening and whatever this relationship means to you, let that be the impetus that empowers you to want to connect more, to choose to connect to it as deeply as you are ready. When you feel all of these feelings and how profound they are, especially when they're in coherence with each other. This is how we change ourselves into the best version of who we have the potential to be. And the more we do this as individuals, the more we create a collective field of all of this crystallization of consciousness. And when we begin to do that together, we're anchoring all of this frequency of reality to have the ability to bring that awareness into a world that only for a very brief second seems to have forgotten. And the more anybody gets in tune with this relationship and they have a breakthrough, you're going to want to be with this. You're going to want to give your attention to it. And through the feelings that emerge with your attention on these points, you become rewarded with a sense of self that is influenced by all of this involuntary and voluntary coherence that you already are. And that creates everything. I just urge you to keep doing it. Because when the habit sticks, you're going to want to stick with it. So with a big smile on your face, keep your eyes shut still. Rub your hands together. Let the friction create heat. And then take the palm of your hands and put them over your eyes. And notice if you see anything or sense it. Something that maybe you didn't sense before. The more you do this work, the more your ability to perceive all these different fractions and dimensions of reality just start to happen naturally. And so I urge everybody, keep doing this. Do it daily. Do it for a month daily. And by the time that month comes around, let me know if you want to keep moving forward with it or not. I know that if you practice, you will want to keep doing it. And so there's so many different variations of that. We can go into levels that are just profound beyond profound and literally begin to open up all these dormant perceptual centers that are in everybody that are atrophied. We begin to strengthen them by focusing on them. And then suddenly we begin to realize that everything we could ever want to know about reality is already there. And we're just choosing to be more aware of it. So please like, share, care. Send this to anybody that you would think would benefit from it. And yes, go to my website if you want a free copy of my book. Just sign up for it. And Greg, as always, thank you so much for being here, helping with this. And we're going to see all of you soon.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for attending, and we will see you next week. Have a marvelous week. Bye, guys.
Bye.